The CNN Titanic has been slowly sinking for a couple of years now, but for one particular show, the ship has already sunk. It's not officially over just yet, but let's just be real here. It's over. Clearly, this is not working out. Everyone knows it's not working. Only person that doesn't seem to know is Charles Barkley. It's not his fault that his ratings on CNN are in the pooper. No, 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 no. Charlie's not to blame. According to him, Nielsen, they just don't understand how to properly calculate ratings. Not only that, in the business of television, ratings don't seem to matter. Yeah, that's like telling the owner of Five Star Frank's that selling the grilled wiener doesn't matter. It's the only reason the restaurant exists. Frank has one goal: sell that wiener. When you're hosting a television show, the only thing that matters is your ratings, the size of your audience. Now, to be completely fair to Charles Barkley, it's not only his fault that his CNN ratings are a huge embarrassing failure. Doesn't matter how much they polish the turd, CNN, they just can't seem to attract flies to it. They put the beautiful Caitlin Collins, Katie Roo! They put the beautiful Caitlin Collins on in prime time, hoping she would be able to attract the attention of lonely men. And Katie Roo, she is appealing to lonely men, but the only problem is once they are done with the cucumber, which only takes them about 30, 45, 60 seconds max, once they are done with the cucumber, they end up changing the channel to VH1 to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. CNN has completely overhauled their morning and primetime lineups. Their ratings still suck. You can make a strong case that every show on CNN qualifies for the second annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards, which will be later this year, but no one is failing at CNN worse than Charles Barkley and Oprah's secretary, King Gayle. For 6 months, CNN heavily promoted their newest dump. When former CNN president Chris Licht was captain of the bum squad, he believed that Charles Barkley was the answer to his prayers. Charlie was going to be his savior. CNN spent thousands of dollars promoting the cable news debut of Charles Barkley. Their premiere episode back in November barely eclipsed 500,000 viewers. It was the least watched premiere on CNN in over a decade. Unfortunately for Charlie, things have only gotten worse. A lot of people are confused. As to why Charles Barkley isn't resonating with the CNN audience. For decades, he has been one of the most beloved analysts in the NBA. When he's working with the legendary crew on TNT and he's only responsible for providing entertaining sound bites instead of being responsible for carrying the show, Charles Barkley is in his element. Just the other night, he gave great advice to aspiring NBA players. Unlike women's college basketball, where players are pleading with the NCAA to not be forced to graduate and enter the WNBA dump, the men, they can't seem to get out of college fast enough. Oftentimes, freshmen and sophomore players, they think they're ready for the NBA when the reality is they're not. Charles Barkley offered some free wisdom to those players. Watch for yourself.
Just because your family and friends are freeloaders and trying to get to your bank account, you don't have to leave school early. Go to college for a year or two, get in a stable environment, get some good coaching, but everybody's in a hurry to get to the money. And a lot of times you're not ready. Yeah. You're just not ready mentally or physically.
That is Charles Barkley in his element. Insightful, entertaining, charismatic, informative. That's the Charles Barkley that CNN hired, hoping he could boost their primetime ratings. Unfortunately for CNN, that is not the Charles Barkley they're getting. But before we get into that, let's get to the sponsor for today's video, my friends over at Ultimate Health and Wellness. As I've gotten older, especially as I have entered my late 30s, I've suddenly realized how important it is to exercise. And I'm not talking about exercise trying to look like Roger Royd with the massive deltoids. I'm talking about exercise just to feel good every day, live a healthy life. Problem for me? I hate going to the gym, which is why I have started using Ultimate Health and Wellness. The programs offered by Ultimate Health and Wellness, they are perfect for me because everything is online and I can use the programs when it's convenient for me. They have this interesting workout series called the Billy Sticks program. This particular exercise, it's a 6-part series, and the best part about it, the Billy Sticks, they're dual purpose. You can use them to exercise, and if you're into martial arts, the Billy Sticks, they are great for self-defense. Ultimate Health and Wellness, they offer over 200 workouts that are good for all ages and fitness levels. Most of the workouts are 30 minutes in length, which is really all you need to live a healthy lifestyle. If you want to bulk up and add some extra muscle, there's 20 different categories offered that will work you into shape. And if you're looking for the personal touch, Ultimate Health and Wellness, they offer one-on-one training over the internet with a coach who's got over 20 years of experience. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Receive 20% off your first purchase of the Billy Sticks program with Ultimate Health and Wellness. All right, since their premiere episode in November, CNN ratings for Charles Barkley and Oprah's janitor have declined by 10%. They're averaging just 451,000 viewers in prime time, which barely puts them in the top 20 at CNN. Something called Lives of Martha Stewart comes in at number 20. I have no idea what the hell that show is. Maybe Martha Stewart was reincarnated. I don't know. What I do know is Charles and the Janitor, least watched show in prime time at CNN. And to make matters worse, they're the highest paid. They're amongst some of the highest paid, I should say. Now, I couldn't believe this, but CNN, they are paying Gayle King $12 million a year to work one day a week, sometimes just twice a month. Who in the fuck signed that check? Last I checked, Gayle King hosted the lowest rated morning show on broadcast television. She is dominated in the ratings by the Today Show and Good Morning America. Her only claim to fame is being besties with Oprah Winfrey. And what's the name of that other doofus in this love triangle? Steadfast or Stedman? Who cares? It doesn't matter what his name is. I'd rather know the name of Gayle King's agent. That dude is a winner. Well, Casey, what if he chooses to identify as a woman? I don't give a shit how he chooses to identify. He, she, they, them, doesn't matter to me. Whoever the hell they is, they know how to swindle the networks out of millions of dollars. Now, there are whispers, there are rumors that woke welfare collectors at CNN are upset with how much money the network is donating to Oprah's driver. Well, I would imagine so. CNN is paying Wolf Blitzer. Woof, 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 woof. CNN is paying the company hound between $10-15 million a year. This past Wednesday night, Woof drew over 1 million viewers. Now, historically, only Donald Trump has been able to deliver 1 million viewers to CNN. I don't know what the hell was going on Wednesday night. Maybe the wolf was in heat and sending out his woke mating call. Whatever he was doing, it worked. Chris Wallace, former host of Who's Talking to Chris Wallace? Yeah, he needs to be talking to Gayle King's agent, Wallace Chrissy. He's only making $8 million a year at CNN. Wednesday night, he drew 584,000 viewers. Katie Rue Collins, she's on the rookie scale. She's on the low-tier welfare plan. Rue's only making $2 million a year. Now, I would imagine there is some jealousy and resentment that CNN is paying Gayle King $12 million a year to work one night a week and tank the entire primetime lineup. Well, KC, what about Charles Barkley's salary? He's got to be making more money than Gayle King. Well, yeah, I mean, that's obviously true. Charles Barkley actually has talent. Problem is, his skill set doesn't fit what CNN is asking him to do. Last year, Charles Barkley signed a 10-year contract with Warner Media, which owns both TNT and CNN. Pays him $20 million a year. Now, from what I can tell, he only agreed to host this Winkley dump at CNN as a favor to the network and as a favor to Gayle King. Charles Barkley is going to be paid either way. His salary is not the reason that this show is going to be canceled. Gayle King's salary will be the reason. There's just no way you can justify paying her $12 million to get beaten in the ratings by reruns of South Park. I wasn't even aware that South Park was still on the air. The only show that King Charles beats in the ratings, Pat McAfee. And everyone beats Pat McAfee. Except, of course, the originator of the term huge embarrassing failure, Bomani Jones. When CNN announced this last year, though, I told you guys this was not going to work. Charles Barkley is not a cable news host. Hell, Charles Barkley's not a host, period. You know why Ernie Johnson is on Inside the NBA? Ernie Johnson is there to host the show. Charles Barkley's there to provide interesting sound bites, to create funny moments. TNT, they're not asking Charles Barkley to carry the show. That's what CNN's asking him to do. They're asking him to talk about important issues. There's just no chemistry between Charlie and Gayle King. The show feels forced. It feels awkward. They can't even remove the awkwardness when they're talking about the NBA. Watch these clips. You tell me if you would waste an hour every Wednesday night watching this show. Roll it.
Yeah, but didn't you make a comment about the Warriors last night? Didn't I see a post from you last night?
Gayle, it's
about getting cooked?
Gayle, let me tell you something.
Did you see that, Steve?
Steve.
Didn't you see that?
No, Gayle,
I did not see it, but I'm okay with it. I'm used to Charles's comments, so I'm okay with it.
You know, hey, Steve, don't believe everything you read on the internet. Because me and Gayle, me and Gayle apparently hate each other.
Yeah, there is a story, but that's not true. But didn't you said something?
I also
about
remember that, Charles, no, I was going to say, I also remember you claimed you were misquoted in your own autobiography. So
yes.
I remember that, too.
Yes. Yes, you did.
First of all, I said I didn't remember one thing. Steve, stop messing up the interview. We're having a great interview. I'm not a big Trump fan. I'm just not. Because like I say, it's the president of the United States. It ain't for no small little group of nutty people. It's everybody. I don't care if, because me and you are independent. And I don't have anything against Republicans. I don't have anything against Democrats.
His supporters would object to you calling them nutty people, though.
Well, I only call them that because they are.
That shit was so boring, I'm falling asleep on my own show. Now, to be fair to Charles Barkley, it takes time to create chemistry with someone. You don't just put two people on set and they magically work well together. Chemistry takes time to develop. Problem for Charles Barkley? Well, this isn't really his problem because he's going to be paid either way. The problem for Oprah's dry cleaner? They might not have time to develop it. According to The Wrap, who published a detailed report a couple of days ago about the ongoing struggles at CNN, according to The Wrap, new CNN president Mark Thompson, he is trimming the budget at the network. They're reporting that he's looking to cut $50 million from the payroll of on-air talent. What's an easy way to eliminate over 20% of that number? Firing Gayle King and taking this dump off the air. Once the NBA playoffs start in April, King Charles, they're going to take a 2-month hiatus. I think that 8-week vacation is going to be permanent. It's going to be similar to the vacation Bob Greiner took a couple of years ago when she visited Vlad Putin over in Russia. Only difference is Bob eventually returned from vacation. Charles and Gayle aren't going to do that. If Mark Thompson is trimming the budget, this is the easiest show to cut. Only airs 1 day a week. Ratings have went from nothing to non-existent. Charles Barkley doesn't seem to want to be there, and when it comes to drawing ratings, Gayle King is completely useless. But give me your thoughts on this. King Charles, huge embarrassing failure at CNN. According to The Wrap, CNN is looking to eliminate $50 million from their payroll budget. Could King Charles be the first victim? Also, why do you think this show is a failure? Charles Barkley's a proven draw on television. Why isn't he drawing on CNN? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.